So yeah, let's start back where we left off at. So yeah, so a lot of people will copy trends from, things from other artists that aren't necessarily what I consider, and what a couple of the people that I talk to would consider to be realistic or age appropriate, or even just with certain babies or whatever, um just wouldn't be as common. And this is a thing, like, anybody can find an exception to the rule on the internet. Anybody can find an exception of the rule in the world, because you know we're all unique people and individuals, so everything is out there. I can say, there's not babies, newborns are not normally born with, teeth. And then somebody like, oh, my child was born with 4 teeth, and then there they have the picture of this baby with a mouth full of teeth, so anything like that is possible, stuff like that or whatever, but it's not the common thing. And don't get me wrong, I don't see nothing wrong with mixing a little bit of fiction with an imagination and creativity with realism in these dolls. Like, for instance, one thing that I don't mind seeing sometimes is freckles. Like, freckles on younger toddlers is not really realistic, because people really don't start growing into their freckles until they're way much older, and not newborns and all that stuff. But I've seen them done on, like, like the Mealy sculpt, which is probably essentially like a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and it looks beautiful, and I don't see nothing wrong with it. It looked realistic, it looked natural. But is that the norm? No, it's not normal. So that kind of stuff. But another thing that was one of the things that I saw started trending, years ago. So Claire Taylor, like, did a lot of stuff that set a lot of trends. Although I think, who was it? It was a Julie Malloy that had a very soft silicone long time ago too, I think. I don't know. I don't know. But Claire had been pouring super soft silicone for a very, very long time. In fact, I had number 2, Zoe, by Claire Taylor, and that baby was very, very soft, right? She was probably as soft as the pour today, but I think the story was that all of the Zoes was poured, like, their mix was kind of different. Like, some was softer than others, da 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 da. Some was not, da da da. So mine happened to be one of the ones that was pretty soft. That was many, many years ago. That doll went through so many hands, and I don't even know where it's at now. I used to follow it, and it still held up. So that debunks this theory of, oh, if you're doing this soft blend, dolls, blah 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 blah, they're gonna be tore, they're gonna be ripped, blah 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 blah. So people started with the soft silicone, but then everybody used to talk about Claire's wrinkling of the silicone. And so, like, let me see, I don't know if I get close. Like, you could see his wrinkle in his stomach just when I move him. Like, the just natural wrinkles, but when he's straight, you don't see the wrinkles. But when he bends, he wrinkles. Okay, you got it. You got the point, right? Okay, so everybody went cuckoo bananas over the wrinkle fact. So then sculptors started sculpting in the wrinkles. I hated that with a passion. Like, they make these big ripples on the sides, and some still do it, and it's like, girl, what? Like, imagine when we're standing up, everything flattens out. Like, when you lay down, baby, I got a flat tummy, baby. I'm like beach ready. You know what I mean? Body, yada, 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 yada. You know what I mean? But when I sit down, there go Papalopicus again. You know what I mean? Same with babies. When they're laying out and they're stretched out, you know, you're not seeing the wrinkles, but as they move and turn to the side, you start seeing the wrinkles and all that stuff. So when they put these like big old wrinkles on the sides of them and all that stuff, when they're straightened out, it doesn't look realistic. It's like very unnatural. So, but once you pose them in a way that they're like curled in or curved in or something, then it looks, you know, they look natural. So, but once people start doing it, a lot of sculptors follow the trend and they start all sculpting like these wrinkles in the backs and in the sides and all this and stuff. And it's like, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Like, that's not real. You know, it's not realistic. So, you know, when I talk to artist friends, or not friends, or artists, other artists, and they, you know, start saying like how they look to other artists' work for inspiration or motivation to paint particular sculpts and stuff like that, it sounds foreign to me to a certain extent, for me, as far as my practice. And not saying my way is the right way. Don't get me wrong. There are times where I see sculpts and I'm like, I don't know about that one. I will look and see like, okay, let me see what these prototype artists did, or what other people are doing with this sculpt, because I can't see it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see it. And normally when I can't see the potential in a blank kit, a lot of times it don't usually work out as well. But sometimes it surprises me. But anyway, so, you know, that's the case. But I don't, every time I get a sculpt, I don't want a kit. I don't look for what other people are doing, because I don't want it to influence me to try to paint mine like that one. Because I know I can't paint that artist style, and if I fall short, it's just gonna look like a watered down version. So why not go out on a limb and just be creative and paint it the way I envision. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes you might see a skin tone and you be like, oh, I like that skin tone. Again, I still don't try to copy skin tones, because I can't even copy my own skin tones. You know, like, I don't know how to get there. It just happens, because my skin tones may come across, you know, repetitive or similar to the others, because I do use the same exact colors every single time I paint. So it's gonna happen, like, where it, you know, they come close together. Like, I did the video the other day, and you'll see there's a little bit of similarity in my lighter skin tone babies, but in person they look like totally different. Like, they all look totally different as far as skin tone, but there are some similarities, because I do use the same exact colors every single baby, whether I'm painting white, black, or otherwise. So anyway, so it's just funny, and I always, you know, see that. But I think the best way, someone asked me the best way to, like, how, you know, what inspires me, what makes, you know, what makes you want to get better, or, you know, how to, you know, I paint different skin tones. Well, my answer is I collect real baby photos. And if it's on Google, if it's on the internet, if it's on Facebook, if it's on Instagram, I will save the photo if I see it and I see that I can see it. And the problem, another problem is that Google and a lot of people photos kind of wipes out the detail. A lot of people do portrait mode nowadays and stuff like that, and I find that it takes out a lot of the textures and the coloring of real babies. When Gabby did her photo shoot, her 9, yeah, because it was called Cloud 9. She did a photo shoot at the house, and I was talking with the photographer. She, you know, she was fascinated with dolls and stuff, and she was showing me some of her unedited photos, and she said that one of the things she started doing, because as her being a mother herself, is she also would include in their package where they would get like a unedited photo, because once they like smooth it over and, you know, do all this nice editing, you know, they look smooth and even toned and all that. But when she took the unedited photo, you could see all the baby blemishes and mottling and different colorations and stuff like that. If you notice, like a lot of professional photos, the babies all look peaches and cream. They don't look like, you can see no veins, you can't see no mottling. All you see is this beautiful skin tone and just the cuteness of the baby. And so she showed me some of those photos and I was like, yeah, see. And so that's why sometimes, you know, you get, when you get photos that are really like not unedited, you can really get the real essence of a real baby. And so also that comes with a lot of experience. So I think people have an advantage. Like, for instance, I'm black, I'm not white. So when, you know, a white person is painting white babies and they've had white children and white grandchildren and white nieces and nephews and seen a whole bunch of white babies, they know the different markings. Oh, you know, white babies tend to have this stork bite in the middle of their forehead, and sometimes they are very red when they're born, and this and that. That stuff I'm not familiar with. I don't know. Like, I have siblings that are white, Caucasian, if that makes people feel better, whichever way. I don't know, but that are white, and but they were not, I don't remember, or they weren't so young, right? They wasn't newborn. And I have been around newborn white babies quite a bit actually, but way, you know, younger, when I was way younger. And then also it wasn't like a day-to-day routine with black babies. You know, being a black woman and being in, you know, my family is of course mostly black people, black children, you know, keeping my kids, you know, having 5 kids of my own, changing diapers, giving baths, nurturing, mothering, day in, day out. And then nieces, well, not nieces, cousins, and, you know, family members that I've babysat, or my mom was babysitting, and or spending a lot of time. You see all these different things, and it's like a pattern. And you know, when a new baby is born, the family gather around and run to go see the babies and all that stuff. So you get all this like on hand experience, and you all this knowledge of what their skin tone and their textures and all that and stuff look like. So it kind of helps. Life experiences help. I don't care what nobody say. You can't take that from people. It doesn't mean that I can't be great at painting white babies. It doesn't mean that a white person can't be great at painting black babies. It's just doing the research, doing the work. Not every black baby has dark fingertips. Not every black baby have jet black ears. You know, the darker ears. Not every black baby have the darker forehead. Like, it is more than just some of the simple things that we see one artist do and everybody just kind of, you know, trickle along with that. And so it can get very interesting, but you know, it's the fun of the hobby, and you know, seeing, you know, how people be creative. But I'm just saying, if you know, if you want to really be unique and stand out and do your own thing, or if you're really chasing realism, you gotta do the work and look at real babies, real people, not other people work, because that's not gonna help you. Because if they make a mistake, you're just gonna copy their mistakes. And also I don't know. I just feel it. And then you need to look at age appropriate babies. Like, if you're painting a newborn, don't go look at toddler pictures. If you're painting a toddler, don't go look at newborn pictures, because there's a difference. It's a difference. It really is. So anyway, I don't know how and why sometimes I get on certain topics and I get stuck on that stuff. And then I'm like, okay, why was I talking about this again? Look at him. This is so funny. I can't wait. My other baby with a full body armature is coming along pretty good. So I can't wait to see how she, you know, flows compared to this one. And yes, I am comparing. Not really to be like, oh, this artist is better than that artist, or I like this one. It's just for my own personal, just curious. Like, you look at me if he's stuck in the position, but it just feels nice. And I probably shouldn't. I feel bad that I move him around so much, but I can't help it. I can't help it. Look at him. Oh my gosh, I just love him. He is, he's such a little stinky poo. I love him. I love all my babies, but I have been taking time and getting used to him a lot, like, because I was so caught up on, like, he's not floppy. And at first I thought I might even sell him because he's not floppy. That's what I was thinking before I finished painting him. I was like, I don't know. After a while, I started thinking, I don't know if I'm gonna like that. So the reason why he skipped Lawrence from getting painted is because I thought, well, let me paint him and see how I feel after he's painted, because I may end up selling him. And I was like, nope. Once he was painted, like, nope. And so now that's where we're at. But, you know, I love having a variety. Like I said, I really appreciate the different sculpts. And I hope we get more. I really do. There's so many things that I'm looking for to add to my collection. I need to work 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 jobs just to be able to fulfill those things. But anyway, thanks guys for listening to me ramble and chat about nothing. As always, Miss I know it all and know nothing at all at the same time. But yeah, I had planned on giving him this bottle, but I didn't, did I? I don't do much bottle feeding. That's the thing. That's another thing about me. I am not a person that does a lot of bottle feeding. So I've never been into it. So I don't even know how I got all these bottles that I have, but I really feel like I could just throw out all my bottles. But I won't. I'll keep them. But, you know, sometimes Gabby asks, can she have one to play with her dolls? And I let her get whatever she wants out of there and to play with, because as far as the bottles and stuff, because I don't use them. Honestly, pacifiers, I don't use pacifiers like I used to either, but I'm thinking I want to try him with the little bubble pacifier. I had pictured him in a pose with the pacifier. I'm gonna give him a pacifier. You want a pacifier, baby? I think he wants a pacifier. That's the thing. Like, I know I probably said this in other videos. He doesn't have to flop necessarily, because when you move him, he moves so nicely and he flows so nicely. So I don't know. It's new. He's new. I'm excited. I'm gonna keep going back and forth and talking about what I like and what I don't like, because that's what I do. I'm still rooting him, so you see me picking hairs because some loose hairs from me rooting. But we will Talk to you guys later.